Hey, boys and girls, weather report for July 2nd, 2021. And a new paper came out on, they did basically a worldwide study on creationists, and they found out that they're actually less related to human beings than Neanderthals. And they also found out that they're more closely related to tomatoes and cabbages, particularly their nervous systems. I don't know if
I was thinking fruitcake, but when you had that picture,
fruitcake too.
Yep, yeah, that's what came to mind. Yep.
Yep, and they used Vesicles as the outgroup to do that study. I don't know if you know, you pick an outgroup that's way out there. I mean, even further. I mean, like wrong at a fundamental level.
Yeah.
And
speaking of Dessel, he's threw out 3 links in the side chat. You might be interested in case you don't have the papers yourself.
Okay, so what are we looking at, Mr. Drace? Pretty sure he's wrong.
Do we know what he's wrong? What he was wrong about? I don't even know. If
we got to try to figure out. We got to figure out.
Yeah, pretty much anything.
He's pretty much wrong about everything. Yeah, he's wrong about everything.
I don't personally know the particular issues, but from just from the street, they're saying everything.
Yeah. So one of those links, formation of. So one of those links did not work. Oh, it was an article that downloaded. Okay. So what are we looking at? So there was something wrong on Amy Newman's channel. Was that it?
I think he said some things that maybe he wants to walk back and clarify.
Yeah, he made some sort of mistake, and I don't know what the subject is even.
Okay.
I think he just kind of
something about concentrate nucleotide 5,000 up to 5,000 folds. What? Yeah.
Damn. So apparently you're limited in the number of preview documents you can open on a Mac, because at some point it just quits opening your preview documents. And I don't know why that is. Let me check it out. Anyway, I really don't feel like all that well today. And I'm hoping you guys are a little sparkier than I am, because I'm not very sparky. I'm unsparky today. I'm so unsparky.
Wow. Sounds like Dressel.
Get all the Christians to pray for you.
Huh?
Maybe we can get some Muslims to pray for you too. I just thought maybe get all of our friendly Christians to pray for you.
Well, no, I need atheists to pray for me. It isn't going to work. Have religious people. Ain't going to work. Okay, so I'm trying to find the name of the damn paper, Dessel. Okay. Oh, hydrothermal conditions and the origin of cellular life. That's what we're
talking about. Vesicles and another one. There's the total of 3 distinct ones.
Okay. Can we get a PDF on that one, please? Yes, we can. We got a PDF on that one. That is an origin of life reactor to simulate alkaline hydrothermal vents by Nick Lane is in there. Unfortunately, Nick Lane listed himself last, and I wish they would quit doing that. They do that to be polite to the lesser scientists. And we got another one. You guys are pretty talkative today.
Oh, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh,
We'll try to fill-
okay.
Yeah, I love the
We'll-
sound
we'll
of
fill that in.
PDFs opening.
Yeah. I didn't know if you were done talking. I don't try not to interrupt people. You know, I
Okay,
interrupted
so-
Danny the other day. Oh my God, Leo jumped down my throat.
Really?
Yes, when was that? Yesterday? Yeah, yesterday or the day before. Was it yesterday when I was accusing you when we were talking about the all your sinning?
Yep.
That was yesterday, right? Yeah, you were. Yeah, I kept having to point out your sins when you were thinking of that lustful things of what you're going to do mud wrestling with Danny and T Jump.
Oh, yeah.
So I had to point out that was lustful thinking and that was a
I
sin.
don't think so. I don't think so. I think you're wrong
No.
about that.
Yeah,
There's nothing
No,
lustful about it.
yeah. Oh, I could be wrong. That's for sure.
Have you ever seen pigs wrestle in the mud?
Pigs. Yeah. I actually have. Yes.
Yeah. Well, is
Yeah.
that lustful?
No, that's definitely not. Yeah. So I guess that's a good point. Yeah. Yeah. I guess you're right. I'm wrong for sure.
Yep.
Well, yeah. So I was.
I just
pointing
like
out.
shit. I just like watching shit wrestle in the mud.
Yeah.
You know. I don't know.
Yeah. I had pigs growing up. My father had some pigs. He was
Yeah,
he was a half-ass farmer. I did not have a big farm. We had a really, really little farm.
We were the same. Yeah.
Yeah, he just had, he would have like a few pigs and then he'd have like one cow and, he used it for meat. He'd keep them and raise them and slaughter them for the meat. And
we were a little bigger than that, but we didn't make money on it. We made money on the butcher shop. And my dad was a miner. And that's what he did for a living. Me and my mom, at one point, my dad gave up the cows and me and my mom took them over. And she was in charge of the money and she spent it all. And I was in charge of doing all of the work.
Yeah.
But doesn't sound quite equitable.
My dad was an animal control officer for a good many years in the town that I lived in. So he had some interesting things when I was growing up with that.
I bet there were some sad stories. People can be cruel to animals.
Yeah. He had to do any animal control in the town. Picking up dead animals of nuisance animals. You had to go trap them and all kinds of stuff. So I can remember one. If you want to hear one fun story that we had is we ended up having to trap we had to go get a snake. And around here where I live, there aren't really that many big snakes, but apparently this one was enormous. It was a milk snake.
Oh, yeah.
And this thing was probably 5 feet long. I mean, enormous, big snake for around here. And it was in somebody's yard and we had to go remove it. And I was really young. I think I was only 8 or 9 years old. And oh my God, the thing was like probably twice the size of me. So
yeah.
That was a little frightening thing that I had to go through, but
good thing it didn't swallow you.
Yeah. The thing got loose in the truck and everything while I was in it. Yeah, we're in like just an open van, no seat, just the 2 front seats and the whole back was just, wide open. And that's what he drove. And we put the damn snake back there and we were holding on to it. Me and my there was 3 of my brothers there with me. And we were all holding the damn thing. And when he went to go up his driveway, he lived in he had a long dirt driveway and went down the driveway. And of course, the truck bounced. And when the truck bounced, the snake went crazy and the thing got loose while we were in the back of this van, a 5 foot, oh my God, you want to talk about freaking out.
Wow.
So, yeah, that was a scary thing, but my father was pretty calm. He just stopped the truck. It was kind of funny. The thing got loose. He stopped, reached over, opened up the door, and the thing went right out the door. So,
what do milk snakes do with themselves? Do they eat rodents?
This one probably did. I mean, it was really, really big. I mean,
Were there there were myths about them stealing milk right out of the cow's tit?
Yeah, that could be a myth. Yeah, I think that's a myth. Yeah, but for some reason, why do I think that milk snakes would eat like a plant they would actually eat the milk. What's the plant that has like a
milkweed? Milkweed?
Yeah, something like that. Is that what they? I'm not sure. Is that how they got their name?
I don't know.
I thought I'd have to look that up. I'm not sure.
Okay, this is a sciencey channel. Somebody should look that up.
Yeah, I suppose.
I was going to look up crin from endocrine and find out what it's a word root for. 2015 Deemer. Okay, so we got a Deemer paper and we have a Shostak and a Nick Lane paper, but I didn't name them that way to look at. And we're supposed to be searching for 5,000 fold, but we're probably not going to find anything until Dessel comes in and tells us, Jesus Christ, there he is. God damn it, you scared me.
He snuck up right behind you, man.
What the son of a bitch.
Part ninja, part philosopher, part scientist.
Yeah, wow.
So this statement that you have highlighted here is just all wrong. It confuses three different papers. So and those are the three papers that I just sent you. So Shostak has an 800-fold concentration for lipids, not nucleotides.
Okay.
Lane tested nucleotides and was able to effectively concentrate them using the method of thermophoresis that Shostak also concentrates on. Finally, you have the Deemer paper, which also provides experimental support for thermophoresis, but that 5,000-fold number is just, from what I could gather from the paper, it's just some kind of a fluorescein dye solution to be able to basically check how effectively thermophoresis could in principle concentrate things. And they got up to a 5,000-fold concentration with their solution that was identified using the fluorescein dye. If I remember, and even that is just kind of going off of memory here. So there might be a little bit of inaccuracy in that, but the 5,000-fold number is in the Deemer paper. The nucleotides that Immutable was asking me about in terms of like thermophoresis and stuff and how well thermophoresis concentrates the nucleotides, that's best accorded with Lane's paper, Lane answering that question. But then also Shostak gives the support for thermophoresis for lipids with an 800-fold concentration. So that's where all that's what all that is actually saying. And I mixed up those three papers in that one statement when I was talking on Amy's show. Besides that one statement, everything else that I said was pretty legit. I wish I could have explained it a little bit better in some places, but overall, the rest of the information is accurate. It's just that one statement that's screwed up.
So thermophoresis, is that like a variation in temperature?
Yep. Yep. You're basically just talking a heat gradient. Okay.
And they detail how they set that up in this paper, Hershey?
Yeah, they detail the whole setup of the simulator, how they're modeling the hydrothermal environment. I think they actually did a pretty damn good job at modeling it in a way that's not going to lead to misleading results. They explicitly explain it all in the paper, so you could go there and check it out for yourself.
So once again, you were wrong.
Yeah, I'm getting almost as bad as you, Speed.
Well,
whoa, those are fighting words. Those are fighting words.
Yeah, well, it may look that way from the universe of wrong that you come from. Things may look a little slanted if you're looking out toward my universe of right.
Yeah, there's no denying I'm definitely in the out group.
Anyway.
Andrew, just to point that out so that way people weren't misled by that one statement. There was one other subject that I wanted to concentrate on, but I could take a hind seat for a little while and then dive into that. I wanted to address Scott Duke feeling so unhappy on yesterday's stream.
Who was?
Scott. When you guys opened up the program, he was talking about how sad he was.
Oh. He was sad. I can't remember why you were sad, Scott.
Do you remember?
Oh, you were sad because the sun is going to end.
Yeah, that basically the universe is going to enter into equilibrium, and it's
the solar system, how it was going to go. It was just made me sad.
Well, the good news is I've got good news for you, Scott. I can kind of cheer you up today.
Well, good.
Compared to that, you're going to be dead in the blink of an eye. So don't worry about it.
That makes me feel much better.
I know. I am so good at when they want somebody, cured up, was in the hospital or dying or something. They always call me. My relatives always call me.
Everybody's going to die too. It's like you're getting there first, and you can call the best seats.
I will.
Yeah. All right, so cool.
Touche.
I'm going to have to take care of a couple of things.
No wonder you guys have to shoot things in the head at the end of every program.
Yeah, we're pretty dark, man. It's a dark show. We're atheists. We don't have any fucking values.
So like,
we have no foundation.
So that's what I kind of wanted to get into, because like the thing about the universe reaching equilibrium and everybody inevitably dying out and stuff, that's all just based on how the universe would naturally work. But there's another component to that, which is that we are agents too. We're able to act, and we're able to manipulate the natural world to our own ends. So I mean, like when you're talking about these billions of year time scale, if insofar as life is able to continue, there's no telling what about the universe we'll be able to manipulate toward our own ends. Dawkins describes the germline as potentially immortal, and I think that people should really take into consideration the possibilities of that. If you were to have, somehow been able to communicate to our ancestors millions of years ago, the kinds of things that they would have to go through in order to survive in terms of diseases, natural disasters, wars, and all this stuff, they might take a similarly really depressing viewpoint about, it's just futile. We don't stand a chance. And yet here we are today, partially because of how well we've been able to manipulate our environment toward our own ends over time.
Yeah, there's got to be a name for this syndrome, this idea that given enough time, humans are going to be able to do anything. And don't be so sure of that. But anyway, maybe it's possible. But I mean, it sort of grew up in the 50s with, like when television, when we first turned our TVs on. And we got this idea that humans are going to be able to we're going to be able to fix the universe. Good luck with that, kids. I know I won't be here, but
so I mean, just consider the track record, though. Up to date, up to this very day, we've been enormously successful in doing exactly that. That's why, this whole thing that I see a lot of the time about how evolution is supposed to be this depressing view. Because we're not separate from the animal kingdom or things like that. I don't understand the real rationale for that, about how it can make sense at all. The reason why is because when you consider the fact that we are the result of a line of development that's been going on for almost 4 billion years, we've been able to persist as life for that long, which is actually a sizable portion of the universe's entire history. It's 1/3 of the universe's entire history, basically, that we've been, that life has been trucking. And we also represent the most up-to-date, kind of software, hardware, so to speak, in terms of life, in terms of its adaptation to the environment. So where we are I don't want to say we're the creme de la creme or anything, but we're very good at what we've been able to evolve to do. And so I don't see any real rationale for being depressed about our prospects in the future.
Well, yeah, we've done some wonderful things. We've created broccoli, the wiener dog, and that Starbucks pumpkin coffee drink, pumpkin spice. I mean, there's no limit to what we could accomplish given another billion years.
That was there was a debate between William Lane Craig and Jordan Peterson, and I'm not a big fan of Peterson at all. There's a lot of stuff he says that I don't like, but he effectively was making the argument against Craig, because Craig was making this whole argument about it all being meaningless and hopeless, that the universe is just going to end up being this dead thing, and so are we, and there's nothing that we can do to change that. And Peterson got up and basically said, well, that's really just an excuse not to act in the here and now, taking the alternative perspective that it's not so bleak, that there is the possibility of being able to accomplish much more than somebody like Craig would want to give us credit for.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, interesting part of that race is like also at least the human race, you are limited in time, at least a little bit, right? Because this planet is only going to be here for so long. So if we can't develop the capability of, moving to another planet before that time, we're in deep shit there, right?
Yep. Yeah. Basically, will depend on our ability to develop the capacity to interstellar travel and find other planets that we can,
Right.
manipulate and live in and make a habitat out of. Unless
I think we're capable. I mean,
Yeah.
I think the human race is capable of that, but it's whether you have enough time. That would be the tricky thing right there, right? Yeah.
Yep. And I mean, if you think that the natural world is going to basically like blow up tomorrow, that's one thing. You might not think that we have enough time. But if you think that it's possible for this to continue on for some time, and as long as we don't do anything stupid, we have the capacity to get to the next level. And I think that that's still plausible, but we'll see what happens. And it might even be the case that we do something stupid and we plunge back into a dark age for a couple thousand years or whatever. But
that could happen. Yeah.
Yep. But even if that happens at the end of that 2,000 years, as long as the natural environment is able to continue to house us, we can have a new renaissance and potentially pick it up from there.
Yep.
There you go, David.
I mean, based on I looked it up myself. Yeah.
Yeah, you were you were a small mammal when you were 9.
Yeah, you did. You were right about them milking cows. Well, that's
really?
Thing that was in the part that's part of their myth. I could be wrong on this. I mean, I'd have to look into that snake more, whether that was the correct snake or not.
Well, they have different coloring.
Right, there's different species. Right. Because the one that if I remember correctly, of course, that was many, many years ago, I thought the thing was all black. So
I'm gonna go for
it may have been I don't know if they call it a black racer, possibly that type. I don't know. Not well, obviously those are in Africa, or Brazil or something. I don't know, wherever the hell those are.
What? Which one?
We're talking about snakes. Obviously, Brain Bug could help us out better on that.
But you mentioned a specific species and said it's in South Africa. Which one was that?
Black mamba?
The black mambas.
Right.
Yeah,
that one's in Africa.
Yeah,
it can't hurt you, Speed.
Not from there. Not unless I go to Africa. That's why I don't go to Africa. I'd never go to Africa. Fucking lions, tigers, and snakes.
Oh my.
Yeah, I'm happy enough with bears. I can handle bears, but fucking lions, tigers, and black mamba, no.
So anyway, back to our human race here, right? I mean, based on what the way humans are, based on what we're advancing, how fast we're advancing, technologically. It seems like reaching out to the stars may not be all that far away. Like, if you look at our advancement, think about 1,000 years from now. If we continue advancing the way we are now, and that continues on a steady rate, you would think we could reach that capability in, 500 or 600 years or 1,000 years, and that's like nothing. When you're talking geological time. So,
hey, Speed.
Yes, just 1 second. I want to respond to Jerry, but I think Sai is looking at science as how God done it. So if you look at how natural the natural world does it, he is saying that's how God does it. So I wouldn't criticize him too heavily on having said that.
That's dangerous. I agree with Speed.
Holy shit, we're both wrong. Okay, Andrew.
I posted a physics song in the private chat. If you want to put it in the description, it's kind of catchy.
Okay, I will.
It's by the Vlog Brothers.
Okay. I think I may have seen this one, but I'm not sure. But yeah, okay, I will. Hang on a second. Let's see.
I was gonna get you a copyright strike and play it when I unmuted myself, but I thought that would be bad. So,
is the Vlog Brothers pretty big?
I think so.
Yeah, but are they big dicks? Is what we want to know, because those are the people that give everybody a copyright strike for everything they do. Who the hell was doing that? Praise was talking about something about copyright strikes, and he was complaining that somebody used copyrighted material, and I think it was Jay Pasek looked at his. I guess he showed his YouTube page once, and it was copyright strikes all the way down, just like solid copyright strikes on every video he's ever done. And he's complaining that somebody else uses copyrighted material, which was kind of amusing. I heard that. Okay, yeah. I'd love to put.
Oh, I was just wondering, like, if we have some dry air, can I talk to Dessel about some cosmology stuff?
Yep, all the air is dry today.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. You there, Dessel?
Yep.
Oh, I thought your name had changed for a second. I was like, is that Greek? But no, it was just small. I couldn't read it. Have you heard of the logic behind the so often repeated Kalam cosmological argument from like LPP and all those guys?
Yeah, I mean, I've read a lot about the Kalam.
Do you have any like criticisms of it, or like what are your thoughts on it overall?
So, yeah, I mean, my thing is, like, I see how a lot of atheists critique the Kalam, and there's some disagreement that I have in some of the things that I usually hear. A lot of people, like physicist Sean Carroll, for example, will talk about the first premise that everything that begins to exist has a cause. And there's still a way in which I support a principle of sufficient reason and like a causal understanding of the world. And I'm somebody who's going to hold out for like a causal interpretation of quantum mechanics and stuff like that. So for the people who are arguing for the idea of like randomness or how causality isn't really required on that level and stuff like that, I don't go that far like as they do. My problem is more with the second premise, because I think that infinity is possible, that there can be an actualized infinite in the real world. Right. So that demands that you have to get into all the different paradoxes they talk about, like the Tristram Shandy paradox and Hilbert's Hotel and stuff like that. And then there's the empirical evidence that they give for a beginning, which is basically the Big Bang. But that requires that you interpret the Big Bang as ultimately an origin of the universe, but that's not something that you have to do.
Right. So before we get into that, which I do want to get into about the Big Bang stuff, do you think it's a good or reasonable way to respond to it, like how most, or you can say all of the things we've seen within the universe have begun have a cause, but that doesn't necessarily mean that the entirety of existence, the universe, has itself a cause?
Okay, what is the cause when one billiard ball strikes another? What is the cause there?
So I mean,
at the subatomic particle level, what is the cause there?
Well, if you're going to go on the particle level, I mean, like, it would just, for me, it would be like, there's going to be a causal chain there. So like the final ball moving as a result of the earlier ball hitting it, and the earlier ball hitting it is the result of you actually hitting that ball, the cue ball. And so I mean, like, you could trace a causal chain back.
Okay, I don't know what you mean by hitting.
So you are hitting the cue ball with your stick, right? And that's hitting the other billiard ball. causing that billiard ball to go. So like, why did the cue ball hit the other pool ball? It hit it because it was in movement from your stick, and so you could trace that back in a causal chain. But I mean, like, there's the question here about whether or not that chain ultimately begins at some point, and I don't think it has to.
Yeah, I'm just not comfortable with causality when you analyze it at a finer grain. When you look to a finer grain about what exactly happens when that cue ball hits the other cue ball, for one thing, before it even starts moving across the table, or when it just starts moving across the table, it is already having some effect on that other cue ball. Very, very tiny, but there's a field effect, obviously. When you have something moving, when you have any field moving, any other field all across the universe is going to be affected by it. And then it gets closer and closer, and then there's the point where we hear the nice click, and we think that it is hit. Okay, well, if you look at that at the quantum level, way down, turn the magnification way the hell up, and start asking yourself what is going on there, and then consider block time on top of it. And causality is so rather than causality, what we want to talk about is regularities.
Right. So when you talk about the other effects, like it can affect it like from a distance. You're basically saying in other ways other than moving it. You're still using a language of causality there. You're talking about other effects besides the movement, which is still understanding it from a causal frame.
Yeah, but it's bidirectional.
So, well, I mean, like that might get into like, when Carol talks about like the second law of thermodynamics and the arrow of time and things like that. But I want to like, my understanding of causality is basically that it arises out of the interaction of what things are, that things are things specifically. They have particular characteristics that differentiate them from other things with other characteristics. And so you can only expect certain outcomes as a result of the fact that it has these characteristics rather than some other. And that's where I think that causality is ultimately rooted in, is a sense of the identity of actualized existent things.
Well, like, I mean, when I don't know if this applies here, but like when you go down to the quantum level, like every electron is the same as every other electron. There's no way to distinguish them except how they're moving, quote unquote.
Sure.
Yeah, but they're all in a different spot.
Right.
Right. I mean, I feel like in some senses you can differentiate them, but in other senses you can't.
So, okay. I mean, like, and you mean that like from each other, but there's also the sense of differentiating the electron from a proton or a positron or a neutrino. And so, I mean, like, that's where I'm ultimately getting my understanding of causality from, is from the inherent nature of the actualized things. And so you can only expect certain outcomes because they have these properties rather than some other, and this particular property or some other property entails these outcomes. So, I mean, like, and I understand that you could take, that there's a huge debate in quantum mechanics, and a lot of people still, I would probably say the majority at this time goes for an acausal understanding. At least they're cool with the idea of an acausal understanding of things. But like I said, because of my understanding of causality, I think that it arises from something that, if denied, ultimately becomes an incoherent perspective of the world. And is undermining toward the scientific enterprise too, if we're trying to understand things like mechanisms and stuff like that. But ultimately, like I said, my problem with the Kalam would be the second premise.
And the second premise is?
The universe began to exist.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, because
there's actually, I will say one last thing about the first premise, which is that like there was this one video I watched a while back. I think it's titled "Demolishing the Kalam Cosmological Argument," and the person who made that video made a good point that the way that Craig is understanding cause is implicitly very different from how we understand cause in the actual world. And he goes into the whole thing about pre-existing materials, that everything that we see, participating in a kind of causal relation. These things are all the result of previous things that already exist and are just changing through time. But Craig's account requires us to understand a cause out of nothing, which we've never seen ever before in the world. And so his event is qualitatively different from our actual everyday notion of causality. And so when he says that he has the whole of experience with him, that's not really true, because our actual experience with causality never involves something coming from nothing like he has on his account.
Yeah, I think once you get down to nothing, when you start talking about nothing, that's when it becomes incoherent, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, oh, go ahead.
Worse than that, there's, this idea of, okay, time and space together, basically. And us as the creatures we are, we necessarily have this idea that the time dimension is something different than the spatial dimension based on the structure of what we are, how the fields are working, right? And I always want to consider that we are this solid thing, not necessarily moving or changing at all, because change requires time. And time is just one of those dimensions. And that solid thing is embedded in a much higher dimensional world. In fact, one possibility is a geometry of infinite dimensions. I mean, that could just well be what the universe is. Basically, it is just this, this infinite dimensional prism, and we happen to occupy a part of it. So, I mean, talking about the cause of the Big Bang or what came before it just seems completely naive to me and wrong. And we can't even think that far yet. Our math can't reach that far yet. So, I don't know. Thoughts?
I think that we're probably a long ways away from getting like a particular model that's actually correct.
Right.
When Sygart and RJ Downard had their debate, they finished off by like emphasizing just how far away we are from a viable, like a fully viable abiogenesis theory. And I'm actually more optimistic about the work done in abiogenesis about actually finding like a true theory, because I'm optimistic about hydrothermal vents than I am about like the current status of cosmology. But that's just me.
Yeah. So what do you know about, well, okay, we're not going to switch away from cosmology yet. Andrew?
Really, I kind of thought the opposite myself, Joyce.
Yeah, I kind of think the opposite too, because we have access to actually what it is with mathematics.
Yeah.
So we have a mathematical, it's not a historical contingency, that sort of thing.
Yeah, I guess I should just like qualify by saying that I think that there's good evidence for like the Big Bang and stuff, but as far as it goes, it looks like most researchers have moved beyond that to try to get at those more theoretical questions that Spiegel was talking about. And insofar as progress being made there, I mean, like I see certain models that are intriguing to me that I, frankly should study more. One of them is inflationary bounce cosmology that's rooted in loop quantum gravity, because I like certain cyclic models. And I went over, like, I know others.
Because you love Buddhism.
So yeah, that would be in that video that I made about Buddhism, talked about how Nietzsche also has an understanding of eternal recurrence, the idea of cyclic existence. It's just that the Buddhists want to get out of cyclic existence. They don't like it, whereas a Nietzschean is in love with cyclic existence and loves the fact that it's eternally recurring.
Not all Buddhists. You're looking at some Buddhists and you're making a generalization. You're a Buddhist. Buddhist.
Do we have to dive back into all those like holy scriptures again from the Theravada and the Mahayana and all that to see what they say about cyclic existence? Okay.
I told you I could give a rat's ass about those texts. Rat's ass.
I guess we would have to go because I know you're more Wattsian Buddhism. That's what you really go for. So like insofar as it disagrees with the East, I guess it doesn't matter.
Psychological Buddhism.
You know, I was at the doctor's office this morning, and it's one of these offices that's always late, running late. You have to get there on time, but they don't have to get to you in a timely manner. And I think I achieved Buddhahood from all the meditation I was trying to do to keep calm, because I knew I was getting my blood pressure taken. So I think I'm a Buddha now. I think I really am. I think I snuffed out my existence, and I didn't care for. I really didn't want anything out of life anymore after sitting in that waiting room for a little while. So,
you know why they do that? That's a big pharma conspiracy to raise your blood pressure so you buy more blood pressure meds.
Well, I stuck it to them then.
Yep, you did.
My internet,
big pharma. Go ahead. Back to the topic.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, I thought you were going back, Andrew, to cosmology. Do you have to leave?
Oh, no, I was just saying my internet cut out for a sec. Are we still on cosmology?
Kind of. Yeah, we strayed a little bit since you left us.
Keep going, Andrew. I like
we need you to
cosmology.
guide us, Andrew.
Keep going.
Why am I always the guide, Speed? You need to
It's your job. It's why I hired you.
You're uncorrupted scientific.
I did.
Inquiry. That's what you are, Andrew.
The only reason you haven't gotten paid is because Scott and David haven't paid their dues this year.
Yeah. It's kind of. I swear I put a check in the mail, and I made it out in terms of speed bumps. So
I don't know what you mean by check.
You can write anything on it, anything, and send it, and they can. That's called counterfeiting. Okay. It's on its way. You got some speed bumps on the way.
The last thing I wanted to close out with Andrew's question about cosmology was that I wanted to point out that I know that there are a lot of people who come on the stream, and Leo is a prominent voice about this, and they don't like cyclic models. And so my thing is just that for me, it's either going to be a cyclic model or it's going to be a model of the multiverse where there would be some kind of background space that's ultimately static, and in which universes bubbles come in and go out of existence. So that there would be that option, or this one universe cyclically recurs. It would be either one of those two for me, and the reason why is because what David said about the incoherency of nothingness.
Right. That's the way I feel. I'm the same way. Sorry. Go ahead, Andrew.
Just to me, the two big cosmological arguments about what happened before, quote unquote, the Big Bang. The Big Bang in this case referring to the hot dense state that we can model would be inflation and the various cyclic models out there, which I mean, like inflation of course is the dominant one among the scientific community, but I kind of agree. I kind of like cyclic models just because of how bizarre but also how intuitive they are in some cases. And I don't know which one I take preference to, but
it's just a point of taste. How can you not like any model of cosmology when we know so little?
Yeah,
right. I mean, like the honest answer at this point is we don't know what happened before that state, or what was prior to that state, or if there was anything prior.
There's no such thing. You can't even conceive of prior to that state. That's a problem.
And going back to the cosmological argument, because like to me, cause implies something existing within time, and if there hypothetically was no time prior to the Big Bang, or prior to the inflationary state, for instance, then cause doesn't seem to have any meaning before then.
So I guess that kind of ties in too, because when people start talking about timelessness and a timeless state of existence, I really can't conceive of that or make sense of that myself. existence, there's necessarily a temporal aspect to that. But I know that people would jump on me at this point because you have things like general relativity that are able to manipulate the flow of time and stuff.
But
wouldn't it be like saying a spaceless kind of existence? Timeless, spaceless? I mean, wouldn't it be the same?
And I mean, it's just like all that stuff, spaceless, timeless. When people say that stuff, I just can't conceptualize that.
I do have a question. Doesn't hang on. Doesn't time have to exist beforehand in order to create like a new instance in time? Like, do I need to rephrase, or do you get what I mean?
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, with you have to have a cause within time in order to start an event. It's still inside time.
Oh, I hear a puppy.
What you were talking about, Dessel, that would almost, when you eliminate that starts to get into the category of nothing, right? When you eliminate space and time.
Yeah.
Now you're in that. Right, then it becomes incoherent, like to me, and I agree with you there.
Sorry, go ahead.
Or I just like to think of it kind of like how Leo puts it. Like, I don't know if I myself would say there was no prior cause, like that it came from nothing. Like I said, I don't think anyone knows at this point. But like, to me, models that posit that the universe came from nothing are really saying that there was no prior cause to the Big Bang, meaning that time just kind of stops once you. I mean, that's kind of the definition of a endpoint or singularity in a sense.
But you can visualize or conceptualize a state of staticness, like, right? If you're static, now what does that mean? Does that mean that there is no time? That would mean that, right? So it is kind of confusing.
Yeah.
So, because if everything is static, then nothing is moving. So you don't have time, temporal time. Like,
right. That was my point. Like something must have started it. Something must have been there prior in order to start it.
Right,
it's
but
like,
you can actually have static. Something being static, and then.
Well, let me put it this way. This is going to be a poor analogy because it implies a creator, programmer, or whatever. God damn it! But in game design, you could have a world that you could have a timer that says, you know what, at this allotted time, create the universe and set the new timer as 0. Like, you know what I mean? Before the universe was created in the game, there was time existed. I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
Well, like, I like to think of it kind of as a cone where you can only exist, at least in our perception of reality, on the surface of the cone, and when you trace it back far enough, you reach basically an endpoint. Like the tip of it, that's basically the singularity where general relativity breaks down because you can't continue it further. And to me, it's not so much that it that there was anything before that or that that started it. More so, that's just where that's the first moment, basically. Like, that's the point at which you can't go back any further. By definition, which, like I said, I don't know if I necessarily hold to those models, but
it seems to me that there's a whole multitude of models which could fit, and
right.
It's almost pointless to say that it looks this way or it looks that way.
True.
The incoherency of the kalam is what's really being. Not incoherency necessarily, but to say that something within this universe is an example by which we can judge what's before this universe seems to be the incoherency in that argument.
Right.
And then secondly, to say that there couldn't be an infinite regress of causes also seems incoherent. When you imply Hilbert's Hotel as being an example, you're really just pointing as to why there can't be an infinite regress. You're really querying the pitch or begging the question, because, of course, in the Hilbert's Hotel example, you have room 1. Right. So it's already just saying, look, there's with Hilbert's Hotel, all you're saying is that there is an infinity which has a start and goes into an infinite future. Well, okay, that's fine, but you can just reverse that and say there's an infinite regress, right? And there's still no incoherency, just like there's no incoherency in saying there's a start to an infinity, right? There's no incoherency in saying an infinity comes from the past into the now, right?
Right. I mean, going back to, sorry.
Yeah, just to say that's why the second premise is really begging the question, I think.
Right. I think going back to inflation, for instance, you can conceive of a way in which inflation never really has a beginning in a larger scope of reality, what we might call the universe or the multiverse or whatever. But within our little pocket, there is a beginning where inflation stops. And I think some cosmologists do hold to that view. I mean, like, so we can say, for example, that according to these models of inflation, that there is a start to our observable patch of reality. But as to whether the larger portion of reality or multiverse or whatever had a beginning is more up for grabs.
Yeah, I don't know, but yeah, they could be other types.
Can I ask a question, Andrew? Where do you think our best place of advancement you would think in this area? My thought would be the gravitational waves, right? We have some, we have machinery out there now that we're detecting it, but we have a long ways to go. We need to really refine those and advance that technology where we can really dig deeper into that, and that's where we will probably find some answers or advancement, right? Looking at the Big Bang and trying to go further back than what we are now, right?
Right. I think there's two ways to approach it. The one that seems most intuitive to me is just that we need to come up with quantum gravity, the math behind it, so we can kind of understand it at least theoretically. And then, like you said, we need to make new approaches like gravitational waves or the cosmic neutrino background. We maybe we can find deeper realities in that. And so there's multiple ways to approach it. It's just we simply don't know at this point.
Yeah, those two areas, quantum gravity and
I think the answer is in topology. Like when you try to figure out what an infinitely small hole is in a topological space, it's there, but there's no way to ever. The closer you approach it, it's still far away, no matter how closely you approach it. And then we have black holes, right? Which we're pretty sure of. There's something there that needs to be investigated, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Because at some point, like I think it was Penrose that came up with that idea that the universe expands, and it expands into like it's actually a singularity still, even though it's expanding, and it becomes another universe. Sort of. I don't know what he was thinking. Or how he puts it exactly, but you know what I'm talking about? His theory, people have really not liked it, but he had this idea that the universe keeps expanding.
Sorry, go ahead.
It keeps expanding, and at some point in the unbelievably large expanse, it becomes the singularity of another universe.
Right.
Because time scales. Because of time scales, because we're looking at something that's scaled, and it's possible that our metric for that scale is not real at all.
Right.
And there is no great distance between things. Rather, it's kind of like looking at that singularity or the infinitely small hole in the topological space, right?
Right.
Anyway, there's something there that if I had another life.
I gotta go feed my dogs real quick. So you guys talk about something, and I'd like to ask a few more questions for everyone when I get back. If that's okay.
You're going to feed them or eat them?
Sounds good.
I'm going to feed them.
Oh, okay. I was confused for a minute. Sorry. Go ahead, feed them. This channel approves feeding dogs and raccoons.
Yes. Feed those dogs. Make sure you get plenty of water to them this summer.
Oh my God, my cats are going through so much water. They insist on sitting out in the 100-degree sun.
Yeah,
out there just lounging, And it's like, anyway.
Yes, well, anyway, it certainly seems like there are theoretical models which do give a theory of everything. Again, like I was saying to Leo the other day, it's just a matter of finding some way of falsifying one or other, or falsifying any that we can come up with, and that's the problem with mathematics, obviously. So
yeah,
but that doesn't mean that you're not going to be able to do it. And I don't think I had this conversation with JJ once, but I don't think there's any contradiction either with saying that our time is a relative form of time, which is itself embedded in another dimension of time. I don't think that in itself is contradictory either. So when we say there can't be time before this, our time, that's not necessarily true either. And I think that goes along with the point about Alex Malpass makes about an infinite regress not being contradictory, and using a mirror of Hilbert's Hotel to show that there could be an infinite time into the past. And I don't think either of those things are contradictory. So
this guy okay. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. You can interrupt.
This guy keeps popping up Camprubi in abio research quite often.
Let me see.
I'm trying to get a list of abiogenesis researchers. Also, I'm trying to find this guy that did the mammary gland evolution stuff, and I can't find his email anywhere. I'm going to have to reach out to, I think it was like Washington State or something. I don't know.
That was a cool paper.
Huh?
That was a cool paper.
This one?
That one too. The one that you have on screen too. But the evolution of mammary glands that you had.
He's got about eight or nine of them. Plus, he has dozens of other papers that he's written.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. I really have to dive more into the whole, emergence of mammals and stuff like that. I have a few books on it, and I really want to dive in sometime soon.
Yes. I want to dive into this mammary gland thing and the mammals and the tetrapod limbs. And I think I would love to focus on something like that. But I ended up getting into a ton of two different directions. One is the proteins that back those secretions, and the other one is the structure of skin, of the epidermis, and the structure of skin, scales, feathers, hair, and it's just all a really complex field across many different forms of life. And they found traces all the way back. Like he found what he thinks are traces all the way back 320 million years.
Yeah,
which is very interesting, and we can thank Sal Cordova for all of that.
I guess it's a function after all, huh?
We must thank him for setting us on this. How did that evolve? and we've got this. So Top Dog has been doing he's been doing more work on my forum than I have. But I have a "How did this evolve" section. I think that we started out, and for all this "How did this evolve?" I'd like to have a separate section for each of them, and I should start putting these papers out for the mammary gland. Maybe I'll actually get the time next week when I take a week off from the weather report.
Say hi to Stanley. He just showed up, so tell him we want to dive into him too.
Hey, Standing for Truth, did you see the groundbreaking paper from the prestigious magazine Nature? The prestigious publication. Sal always says the prestigious publication, where they found out that creationists are less related to hominids than Neanderthals, which supports your idea that Neanderthals are more human. I don't know if he saw that or not, but anyway. You have to.
Yeah, I checked into that. Yeah, I would wanted. I was hoping Erica would have come today to talk about that new skull. You know, I checked in a little bit more into that. Come to find out, that skull was actually dug up like in 1933.
Yep.
And
they're calling it. Go ahead, finish.
The guy buried it in his well, put it in his well to hide it, and it was there for like over 80 years and all that.
Yeah, they're saying it's a new dragon head or dragon man or something.
Yeah,
well, that's just the term there. That's
Right. Homo landi. I think it was
Homo.
That word landi was for dragon, but
yeah.
Okay, I have to say something. Erica got back to me. She's doing a Zoom call with some old colleagues right now, but she said that Walker has read up on it and he knows about it. So I just invited Walker.
Good.
Do you have room?
Yeah, we do. We got 5, 6, 7, 8. Anyway.
Yeah, and I'm gonna.
Well, that's all right. I mean, we don't have to change the subject. I just was bringing that up.
So, do we have a link to that paper? I think I put it in yesterday's video, right?
Yes.
Let me go see if I can pull that up. Or is it a paper or an article?
I think it's an article. I couldn't find. You're talking about the Homo landi, or I can't remember the second name there.
I thought you were still talking about mammary glands. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I don't know about any paper that you have linked in the description about Homo longi.
Longi. Thank you.
Yeah, I read a couple of just like pop sci articles quick on it. There's like some dispute about whether or not it's Denisovan. Others are convinced that it definitely belongs in its own category as Homo longi. That's basically what it seems like it's summing up to.
I did a quick search of Google Scholars, and they didn't really have any scholarly papers about it. I just wonder if all the pop science articles are just kind of a precursor to an actual paper, kind of leaking information before the big paper comes out.
Hey, Speed.
Yes, sir.
SFT's in the chat, so I'm going to go and start punching him. Thank you for letting me contribute today. Sorry, I'm looking up. Thank you. Eric is also having a stream later, so I don't want to miss that.
And tell him to get his cowardly butt in here.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Have a good one, y'all.
Bye, Andrew.
Chrome tab, 146,000-year-old archaic human cranium. That one.
Now, you said the guy put it in his well. Was he able to, like, put the location, go back to the location where it was found so they can at least dig around there?
No, because I believe, what happened is that it was discovered during some sort of a construction project that was going on. Like they built a bridge or a tunnel or something. And I believe that's where it was discovered. So they didn't document, whatever would have been needed to document when they found it, the level or the place or
they say that.
So
they say that right here.
Yeah.
Because of the unsubmitted. Yeah. Shit.
Yeah. So
that's the most important thing for fossils.
I know. It's like with even with the Homo naledi. I know I'm butchering these names. They just kind of found these skeletons in a cave, and there's no context for it. So it's like, what kind of information are we going to be able to get?
Yeah, that's the thing. That's the problem with this. Is there's none of that information is available, I guess. So, they're going to do what they can with it, I guess. Yeah.
And Scott, you thanked me for saying Homo longi, but that's just the way I'm pronouncing it. I don't know any more than you do whether or not that's actually the correct pronunciation. That's just my guess.
Yeah. No, I think that's correct. I believe, or at least the English. Yeah.
And I think longi means dragon or something.
Yeah.
Standing for truth. This may be Noah.
That's right. That's right. I didn't think of that.
He has a really big brain, and
Yep. Looks kind of like him, doesn't it?
it does look like Noah.
Yeah. Looks like Stanley's uncle.
Yeah.
So I don't know. They could be related, for sure. So
You're
it's
wrong,
oh,
later.
wait a minute. It says mosaic combination, so Stanley's going to claim that it was multiple animals that all died together and their craniums intermixed. Right.
I mean, Speed. That's too far fetched even for them. Come on, don't go there.
Oh no, he'll claim that. He'll claim. He has claimed that.
Yep.
They're claiming that with Lucy.
Oh well, I never.
All right, gentlemen, I'm gonna head out now. Thanks for having me on and letting me hog some airtime about the whole abiogenesis thing.
Yep.
no problem, Drace. We appreciate you.
Always
Input.
good having you on, sir.
Yeah, thanks for not being as completely wrong as you usually are. I appreciate that.
I'll make up for it next time.
We'll
Okay.
keep our eye out for you.
All right, ciao.
See ya.
Ah, amazing.
Is Stanley calling him? He's put Grandpa in there. He's
No, he's talking to me.
His Grandpa. Oh, yeah.
You call me daddy, damn it.
Yeah, I don't know.
Not your grandpa.
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I have to tell that kid the story.
Now, you haven't heard from Stan Walker. Maybe we need to call his lows and have him paged overhead.
Yeah. He's probably
So I don't
swimming.
know what's going on with this thing here. Like, wonder if they talked about they're gonna maybe do a facial, reconstruction with it and all. So they haven't done any of that.
Well, like I said, there was no papers in Google Scholars about it, so I think this is all the pre-publication hype.
I think I have 2 of them. That's why I actually came in here.
Oh, you have two academic papers or articles?
Papers. I think there's 4 altogether, but I can only find 2.
Okay, cool.
I'm trying to see if I can get the PDF, but I'm having trouble logging in here for some reason.
Let me put this in the description.
Yeah.
Article.
And they put the range. They see it has there 146,000 years, but they say it could go anywhere between that and all the way up to like 306,000. So it can be anywhere in there.
Are you getting us links there, Cerberus?
Yeah, I can get you the links where you can only read the abstract.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
We just need the links to the paper so people can track them down at some later date. So,
Have they published what star sign he is yet?
really?
I put the 2 that I found
Don't
in
know.
the internal
I'm
chat.
asking.
Speed. This new species means we need to rewrite human evolution.
Looks like a Libra to me.
Have to make it more Noahic.
I'm not sure. I think only one specifically about the skull, and I think the other one is talking about how it could affect the culture of the area. I haven't got through reading all of it yet.
Okay. Those are in the description, and let's see if I can maybe get out there and see if I can find the papers.
So forgive my ignorance. So they thought that may possibly be a Denisovan. Now, what do they do? I mean, they haven't done testing on, DNA testing or what? I don't know what that means.
I don't know how quickly they can get DNA testing done on it. When did this is a June 20th discovery, or how long have the academics had it to be able to do the analysis?
That I don't. Yeah, I don't know that information either. Like I said, I just found out that the thing was actually, discovered way back in 1933.
Did you say that he was baking it in a well for a number of years or something?
The guy hid it there because back at that time, I believe it was the Peking man that was discovered, and when whoever this guy was that hid it knew that it was a very valuable, discovery. So for some reason he hid it, and that was the reason. And then way later on, he notified his family, letting them know that that's where he hid it, and then somebody eventually went and got it and all that. So
Yeah. So Cerberus, have you noticed that these articles are kind of new? And
Yeah.
kind of hard to find.
Yeah, I mean they're like 7 days old.
Yeah, one of them. Did you intend one of them to be about discoveries in Israel?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, it's all fascinating. It's just I didn't know if that was the topic you were looking for.
Yeah, well, it says here that it looks closer to Neanderthals or closer to Homo sapiens than to Neanderthals or other archaic humans.
right.
So that would mean it's an intermediate species between Novocene and human sapiens.
Right. That's why they're making a big deal with it. Yeah.
Hey, wait, because I may be off here. I know you guys were talking about the Dragon Man, but I thought the skulls they found in Israel and China were like the same species.
Well, the point I'm making here is if the date is correct, right, then that means that this species, which is closer to us, existed at the same time as the other archaic species.
Right. There was probably 5 different species in that range.
Well, it's not even if it's a closer species to sapiens, Homo sapiens.
There's never a fish with legs when you need one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm logged into the university and I can't even get it from there.
Yep. Yeah, pretty new. Just wait a few weeks. It'll pop up.
Yeah.
Always exciting stuff. Exciting stuff.
Yep.
Yes. So, what else we got? Oh, look at this.
Yeah, this stuff is fascinating. Yeah, some of these articles were pretty. I didn't dive into it too much, but because I just found it yesterday, so it's brand new. It's pretty fascinating.
So, have they done genetic testing on this thing? I wonder.
I don't think so. That's why I'm saying I think it's that new. Like, I don't know when they actually was given to.
Well, if it's been in a well since the 30s, then I don't know what we have about recovering genetic material.
But that's the thing. I might have misread it, but there's one that was found in the well, and there's one that's found on the other side of the planet. I forget which one's which, but I think they're saying it's the same species.
Well, that would be interesting.
If they found out it was Denosovin, that would be the first thing other than a couple of fingers that they have, right?
Right. That's why
that would be amazing, and it would be really amazing if they turn out they have really big brains, and that would be cool.
Well, I did read earlier that it said it was 14-16 milliliters.
Yes, they did have the size, the brain size, and all that. Yeah.
I believe modern humans are 1600 or around there.
Yeah.
1580.
Yeah, in the United States we do cubic inches.
Yeah.
Like
Look who has
420 cubic inches.
Look at who has graced our presence.
We have room, right?
We do have room.
Yeah.
Yeah, lots of room. Are you trying to get out of here midnight? Welcome back.
Well, thank you. No, I was just asking if you had room so Stanley and John can join us.
Yeah.
John.
Yeah.
We do need to talk afterward later, Speed, if you have time.
Yeah. Well, a little bit of time I have to rush out at 4, I have an appointment.
Yeah. So Walker's not around. Erica's not around.
Nobody's around. Nobody loves us.
I couldn't even begin to present this little
There's
thing.
There's never
here.
a primatologist around when you need one.
I know. What the hell?
Looking at these original life papers that Immutable wanted to get into reading some original life papers too. So apparently Detzel wants to fight about his metabolism first thing.
Well, these papers don't even have proper DOIs yet.
Yep.
That's like really new. Okay.
Yeah. We'll wait around. We'll let the primatologists in the family, Walker and Erica, figure it all out. I'm interested in mammals, like further back, further, way further back. And I can't do everything.
Right, what site are you on right now?
What side am I on?
What? Yeah, site that
Just
you're showing.
Oh, that's the.
Science
I posted it in the description. That's Sci News. That is Sci News.
yeah,
Is
that's
that
one
the
of the
same
ones I
name?
posted. Yeah.
Is that the same name as the paper? No, it isn't. No.
I found another one that seems to have like a really in-depth endless. I'm just going to post this one because it's not a paper, but it seems to cover everything. It covers things in detail enough that I don't know what I'm reading without having to look up stuff.
Okay.
Yeah.
An error's occurred. What? Oh, okay. You did something wrong with the. I think you put a space in there. You had a line feed or something. Let me see. Might be able to fix it.
I think I just same one.
Okay, I got it. Yeah.
They apparently have. I'm guessing those are not X-rays, MRIs. I think those might or CT scans. Those are CT scans of it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Down below?
Yeah.
Oh, they have the same picture there.
Yeah, that's why I asked what site you were on. Those are just the pictures, but they have video of it down somewhere.
And they've actually got the estimated the age. The thing was they thought was like 50 years old, which is quite old for a hominin that going back that far, right?
Yeah, I don't know how well you can.
It must have been a pretty healthy individual to reach that age.
Locator.
Right?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting kind of creeped out.
I mean, isn't that the same skull you have, or similar anyway?
It's pretty damn close.
Looks pretty close. Might be closer to yours there, isn't it?
I was about to say the picture they have of their recreation of their face. I know people that look like that.
Hilarious, Speed.
I know. I can't resist a little jab there. You know me. It's all meant to strengthen your calluses.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So it's all out of love. I don't know. So yeah, they got quite a bit in this paper. So let me post that one in the description of this video.
Yeah, this one's really in depth. This probably has all the stuff in it from the actual papers.
Yep.
Yeah.
That'll be the last post.
Just that skull alone destroys young Earth creationism. Sorry. Yeah, just
no, because God
all the
magic.
stuff that all the stuff that we have
No,
out there.
according to some people, this skull alone disproves. Well, okay, it doesn't disprove evolution, but it challenges everything we know about evolution. Like, I really hate it when I come across articles like that, because it's like, oh god, they're gonna misunderstand. They're gonna say, "Oh, see, evolution is not true because of X."
Yeah.
Well, the big thing is how do they fit all this stuff in their 6,000, 10,000 years span?
It's simple. They speed up time.
Yeah.
Well, they sped up radioactive decay. Why not just speed up time?
Now that I think about it, doesn't time move move differently throughout the universe?
No,
I mean,
time
hell,
is
even on
relative.
Earth.
Time is
Right,
relative.
that's what I mean, right? It moves different.
Wow.
Right? It moves at different speeds for different people. Due to relativity.
Right.
Yeah, some areas do the
Speaking of time, Dapper Dino did a video yesterday on the Grand Canyon, I believe, and rocks, and it was really great. And I think it's about 20 minutes long. Does anybody know about this?
Yeah, I saw it last night. It's a part 2 of something he started a few
series.
videos back. Yeah, it's about the Canadian Creation Ministries International wing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he did a great job, very thorough.
Yep.
Yeah, well, this is long enough. I'm going to let other people read it and tell me about it later.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
What's the matter, Serb? You lazy.
The matter is it doesn't have anything to do with money.
I see.
You're all about money.
No. Actually, you know, when you think about it, it does have to do with money, because imagine this being sold on the black market. Just think of it that way.
I mean, I can tell you how that works, but
look at those skulls up there. Those are obviously all humans that have just had epigenetic changes as a result of their environment, right? Yep. That's what we're going to hear about this. So LPP is still in the chat. I'll probably tune in at some point. I've got stuff going on tomorrow night. You got stuff going on, John?
Really? Well, I also have stuff going on tomorrow, especially at 6 a.m.
Oh,
I think he's talking. Is that Andrew? Tomorrow night's Andrew's debate, right? I think that's what he's talking about.
Did attack Vesta personally by claiming he's living in denial? What is he talking about?
They're talking about flat Earth. They're talking about whether atheists are flat earthers, because generally most of them are, right? Flat earthers are young Earth creationists or young Earth.
Yeah,
right, and all that. So
I don't believe in Europe, so maybe I'm a flat earther.
I don't believe in you.
I think
just kidding.
I think that's what they're arguing about. I think John's trying to make a point that
atheists are flat earthers.
Well,
I mean, they can be.
I think he's trying to make a claim that
some atheists are flat earthers, correct?
Yeah, that's true.
How do you square that circle?
Well, what motivation are they doing it for? I do not know.
Yeah.
Well, Midnight, you don't have to be able to draw a line from A to B. Some people are just stupid.
Fair enough.
Quantum John wants to make a bet. Why don't you have a SAT contest with him, John? You know,
okay, Quantum John, I will bet you $1.20
to have a bet on a vocabulary contest. You know,
I will bet you.
That's like you go from 4th grade vocabulary contest, and then you jump to SATs, high school.
Yeah,
you know, where are you, Johnny? You're trapped between middle school and high school, I think, somewhere in there.
Are you a child in a man's body?
Yeah.
What do you mean, literally, Speed?
Literally. Yep.
Where's Peter's soundboard when we need it?
As long as you're not that, only the other way around.
Yeah.
No, we used to on Side Strikes General. We used to take the mickey out of flat earthers, and I mean their motivations vary considerably as to why they're doing it.
Really? What are they up to? What are they about? What the fuck are they? What are they doing?
Well, I think it comes down to a lack of scientific education. It would be my best guess for those that are being genuine about it, because very much like other science, it's not necessarily, or like quantum mechanics, for instance, it's not intuitional. And if you've only got your intuition to go on, I can believe that you would think that the Earth rises and moves around the Earth. That's intuitional. That's what it looks like, doesn't it? Does it look like we're standing on a planet which is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour? No, we stand still. That's the language we use.
Back in the 60s.
That's intuition. I'm just pointing out this is intuition, not scientific fact. And if you don't use scientific methods to come to the conclusions, which of course everybody should do in this modern world, especially those that are using computers, then of course you are going to come to erroneous facts about the real world. right? Just like people did before the scientific method, right? So that's it, really. It's just lack of scientific education.
And they all love the conspiracy stuff, NASA's in cahoots, and and so they're all big on that.
Sure, there's that side as well. When you've got a bias already, like you're a biblical inerrantist, for instance, then obviously you're going to come to it with a certain particular view that you wish to prove, and therefore you're going to try and reason your way to that, regardless of the facts. But the point I'm making is that atheists that just aren't scientifically literate are going to use intuition, just like man did for thousands of years before the scientific method. And they came to that conclusion that the Earth was at the center of the solar system and that the Earth was flat. So it's not beyond the wit of man to believe that there are people alive on the planet that are educated as well as the 13th century average person, right, that believes that the Earth is flat and the Earth is at the center of the solar system.
Think back all the times when you were in school and you saw someone that carved something into the desk you were sitting at. It's those people.
It's those people.
Yeah, they weren't paying attention. They were busy carving and drawing.
Yeah. On the top, you mean? If it was inside the desk, then maybe they showed some kind of moxie. Yeah, but that's all I'm saying. It's just scientific illiteracy.
Yeah.
Okay, so I put
that's the least of their problems. Sorry, speak. Go ahead.
I put the 3 abio papers, though I didn't label them yet, in the description that Dessel brought to the table.
Okay.
Anyway, so we have those, and I'm trying to label them, and so I'm busy. So I'm just telling you guys, keep babbling.
Yep.
Babylon. Oh, who is that?
If we look in history, then I would imagine the vast majority of flat earthers over time have been religious people.
Who is that?
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah.
That Scottish singer, Gray, I think is his last name. Babylon. He did Babylon. You know what I'm talking about?
Or I'm going to babble on.
You mean by the rivers of Babylon?
Nope, Babylon. Babylon by, let me see who he is. And I think he had a stroke, like right after he did this the song that hit top 40, and I think it was probably 90s alternative. But
you're not talking about Bob Marley then.
It's a David Gray. It's a beautiful song. It's
David Gray.
Babylon. I'm going to put that in the description and the chat, so everybody can go listen to this song because it's just a wonderful song. And he had a stroke after this, and then I think he did like a comeback. Oh no, that's Google search. What the? Oh, I don't want to do that. God damn it. Sorry.
Little peepee still going on about we run away when he wants to put a bet on our assertions. We're running away. This is the goddamn this is the internet, John.
Well, John, are you a child in a man's body?
Well,
seriously,
what's he want to bet?
The bet he wants to make is one of the assertions that he made earlier, that somebody else said that no atheists were flat earthers, which I believe has been said recently around the place, and is frankly a ridiculous claim. I think they were speaking metaphorically to say, I corrected, the vast majority of people in history that have been flat earthers have probably been religious.
Right.
But I do know of some atheists, or people who claim to be atheists, at least in the soft sense of the word, are also flat earthers.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't claim that there are no atheists.
Yeah.
But whatever.
I just get a kick out of Quantum John. He's so entertaining.
Yeah, someone like she. Could you just tell us who the she you refer to that made the assertion that there are no atheist flat earthers? Because we can take the piss out of her as well then. If you wouldn't mind, John.
I don't know. Something tells me it's Brenda, but I could be wrong.
Oh, fuck off. Brenda's not a flat earther.
No,
No, made the assertion you're talking about.
Oh, no. Brenda wouldn't make an assertion like that.
yeah.
No, I think it was somebody in chat may have said that here today. I don't know, but they may not have meant that. I don't know. It doesn't
there
matter.
was
We don't
somebody-
even
The guy
want to
in,
get into it. We don't even want to get into it. Yeah,
well, the
go ahead.
guy that debated Orthangelo said it offhand as an offhand comment, but he
Oh, yeah,
retracted
okay.
that. He retracted that
Okay.
and said a majority of atheists
Yeah.
are not.
Yeah.
The vast majority, I think he said.
Right. Okay. Maybe that's where it came from. I don't know.
I don't know, but that's not a she. That was a he. So, whereas
Right.
John is saying that she said it. Actually, she made the assertion there are no atheists. Just tell us who she is,
it was
please, John.
Vesta.
Vesta? Oh, that was
Yeah.
me. Oh, Greg, why did you say that? And you've only just said it, and literally 5 minutes ago I said, yes, there are atheists that think that.
No, she said it before you said that.
Oh,
way
did she?
before.
Okay.
Way before. Yes.
All right. Yeah. Well,
That's what
I know.
John.
I know that
it.
there were atheists
Yeah.
that have thought
Yeah,
that in the
but-
past.
The whole point is that it's very few. The
Yes.
vast majority, and that's all that matters. We
Although-
don't want to entertain John's bullshit.
Yeah.
If
I mean,
You know.
go ahead, Seb. Sorry.
was like, if I run into a flat earther that said they were an atheist, I probably would not believe them off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, again,
Yeah.
like, that's
Yeah.
exactly what I was going to say. In the 1970s, when there was this thing called the Flat Earth Society, it was actually a piss-taking society. And it was a debating society created to allow people to debate false propositions. Right? And that was the point of it, was to go, okay, this is a ridiculous statement. No one could possibly believe this in the modern world. Let's debate it and, show how our debating skills.
Yeah,
Little
well,
did they know.
Little
It's
did they
amazing.
know, yeah.
It's amazing the shit people believe in the modern world. I love the
Oh.
dinosaur. I love the dinosaur thing. The dinosaurs
that?
walked with man, like a lot of
Oh,
these
yeah.
young Earthers. They have to place it in their timeline. So that's the big one. Today, Tom Rabbit put out a video today, and Darth specifically, he was asked. He did an AMA.
Oh, yeah.
And Darth said that dinosaurs walk with man, and it says it right in the Bible. Basically, yeah.
By the way,
Yeah.
guys and gals, Erica, our gut sick gibbon, has a premiere in about 25 minutes about Earth's extinctions, catastrophe in the Cretaceous, and the demise of the dinosaurs. So that's
cool.
probably, I think, going to be maybe half an hour long, something like that. So it's a good video. I think I've seen it already.
Nice.
Yeah.
So Creo Debunk was in a discussion with some creationists, and they were going on about the replication crisis, but he would have to come in and tell us a little more about it. There's a Wikipedia article about, basically,
Okay.
yeah, when you can't replicate a particular paper or experiment or something, they're calling it a crisis, and I suppose they pointed it out as why we shouldn't believe anything science says.
Well,
that sort of thing.
Right.
Well, from what I
Do they think science is mathematics or something?
Oh my God, Scott put something else. What, Scott?
Oh.
What?
Oh, Vesta says she was trying to trigger SFT. Fair enough.
Oh.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Oh, this is just what I just announced about Erica's.
Oh, okay.
I just put it on the screen.
from what I remember, the replication crisis isn't that just some things could not be replicated.
Yeah, like in psychology and sociology. Yeah.
Mostly, yeah.
It's not even just there. It includes the fact that most people don't try to replicate anything because you don't get notoriety for it.
Right, and especially if an experiment didn't really prove anything, and maybe it could. I don't know.
Yeah,
But-
this is primarily what they're talking about is, these statistical studies they do on cholesterol and heart attacks and crap like that, and psychology studies and stuff like that in marketing, economics, medicine, not so much in abio. I don't know. They don't mention abio here or evolution, do they? Do they?
Well, no, there isn't. I would say I mean, abio is pretty niche, right? I think the niche you get, the more focused people are.
Right. Yeah, and there's always going to be a problem replicating some experiments, and people are going to make mistakes, and they're going to retract papers. It's just, this is called science.
That's how science moves forward. Yeah.
Well, the thing is, I could be wrong. From my understanding, though, it isn't mainly that people got stuff wrong in their papers, right? Or someone couldn't replicate it. It's that no one bothered to try and replicate it.
Right. Most severely affects social sciences and medicine, where they're doing statistical tests on things and stuff like that. We can safely discount this. And they were full of shit.
Well, hold on. The replication crisis doesn't. The replication crisis does, usually applies to psychology, doesn't it? I mean,
it applies to, but it's a general thing. It's not only in psychology.
Right, but isn't that where it generally? Never mind.
No, I first heard about it in the chemistry class.
Yeah. I love watching what wiki pops up when you hover over a link. They have a little picture. It's always fun. I always have fun.
Thank God for CSS3 then.
I do the same thing on Pornhub, to be fair, Speed.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, that's fair.
Simus, you seem to be bringing up Pornhub a lot lately.
I know.
I think.
Yeah. Are you lonely?
Yeah.
I mean, I was just going to ask that.
Yeah. Yeah, the girlfriend phoned me last week. He said, I must come over soon. I went, yeah, all right.
I think Simus is trying to tell us something. He keeps bringing up Pornhub.
Although I went for oxygen. I went for some tests to get oxygen today, and they're going to deliver it tomorrow. So thank fuck for that.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, thank fuck. I need it badly. I did a test, and it doubled my my exercise output and halved my recovery time.
So does your medical system pay for the oxygen and delivery and stuff?
Yeah.
Do you smoke, or did you smoke?
I did, yeah, like about 10 years ago.
Yeah, me too, 10 years ago, and I really screwed up my lungs.
Yeah, I'm going to need a lung transplant. Should be getting one next year. Or double lung transplant. Actually.
Wow. Yeah. So if I could 10 years earlier.
Read
John's.
Yeah,
tell me about it, Speed. Biggest regret of my life is smoking. Still, you can only learn in hindsight, I suppose, with these things.
LOL, Speed. We know you actually haven't read the multiple articles written by established editors and reviewers of papers about how ridiculously common unrepeatable claims have become. No, I fucking haven't, because it's not interesting. Sorry, not interesting.
Well, again, that's science. That's science. People put forward hypotheses, right? And then they try to do tests. So, of course.
But John's read all those papers. Why? I don't fucking know. It's boring.
Well, thank you, Jerry, mate. Thank you. I appreciate that. And thank you, Spooky. Yeah, I'm very pleased. I'm going to start going out for long walks in the local park soon.
Walks in the park. That's awesome.
Nice. Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, y'all don't get a whole lot of sunshine throughout a good part of the year, do you?
It doesn't matter. I like the rain.
Speed, I got a good idea. Why don't we invite John in to go over some papers?
John, why don't you come in and show us some of the papers on unrepeatable claims?
Yeah. That would be interesting.
Come on in and show us. We'll pull them up one at a time, and we'll put them in the description, and we'll take a look.
And because you come up with the best conclusions. I mean, nobody seems to be able to come up with the conclusions you do. So,
well, I certainly know of some in physics.
Convinced.
I can tell you some of those in physics, but you know.
I'll bet you $1.75 that you don't have the breasts to come in here.
Here we go. We missed John's point again.
I missed the entire point.
No, I hate that. I don't think we did miss the point, actually.
Yeah, I don't think you can actually. Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, John, I haven't read them. I told you they're fucking boring. Why would I read shit like that? Who the fuck cares? Jesus, God.
Wait, how can you miss the point? Oh, never mind. I guess you can miss the point and prove it.
So what point did I miss?
I don't think John even makes points. So
That I haven't read the papers. I admitted I haven't read the papers. I don't care about the papers. They're boring. You're boring. They're boring. It's all boring. Fucking boring.
I certainly know of unrepeatable tests in physics, and the reason they're unrepeatable is they got debunked by other physicists trying to repeat the test.
I love this.
Oh,
Look at that
John.
next comment.
Okay, this
Yeah.
is a standard answer because he doesn't
Yeah.
really have the papers. He has no idea where the fuck these papers are. So, like, he would have to go to Google to find them.
Yeah.
What a poser. What a poser. Grifter. Hashtag. John Madison.
Oh my god! Fucking.
Oh, John.
Yeah, that's
John,
science. It's
John,
called
John.
science, John. It's called science. That's what I'm proving. Science works. People are wrong.
It's all a pretty
science
motion.
moves forwards. And
He
how?
blinded me with science.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well,
I think
you
we're-
proved his point, Simon. I don't know why.
I think
Yeah.
I think John, like, I think you totally missed Simon's point. I don't think you caught what Simon said.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
I think he was talking about the repeatability of having a tank of oxygen.
Every time a scientist says something, it must be true, right? That's what John
Must
thinks.
be true.
Yeah.
Anyway, guys, I want to shoot her in the head. What do you think?
Yeah, baby, put that baby down. Otherwise,
Yeah,
otherwise
put
he's
me
gonna,
down.
otherwise
we're
he's gonna
giving-
grow. Otherwise, he's gonna grow up into a scientist.
Yeah. We're giving out a formal invitation to Quantum John. Come in and do some papers with us anytime.
Yep, we'd love to do at least one paper with you. Just
Yep.
one from the Royal Society
Yep.
on information, any one of them. And show us how ID works
Nice.
and how the paper proves ID.
Yeah.
Or
Please.
just-
Something
Or
like
come
that.
in. I'll supply the physics paper that we can go through if you like, and we can show how it wasn't repeated.
Yep.
Whichever you prefer. We can show that the ones which weren't repeated and the ones which were repeated.
Wait, I think you should shoot in the head.
Okay, boys and girls, we are killing this thing. Goodbye, cruel world.
No, Papa, no.
Yep.
Accorded.
Is it a flat world